You've entered the Houston Running Zone, the ultimate podcast for runners in the Houston area, featuring the everyday runners who inspire us, clubs, gear, races, and runcations. Houston, we've got the runs.
All right, today in the zone, I have another Chevron Houston Marathon ambassador. She's part of the active running community as well as Latinas Run. Definitely want to pick her brain on that one. And seeing her Instagram, noticed some runcations. We got a lot to cover here, so let's get right into it. Here to hear her story is Sarah Alfaro. You know, I didn't even notice. Did I even ask? Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes people say Alfredo, but I do love Alfredo sauce, so that's okay too. It's Alfredo, so that's good.
Awesome. Well, you know, as a Chevron Houston Marathon ambassador, I had a couple of them on that I've need to edit and of course got them recorded. But the ambassador, you get some perks, obviously, but really the majority of it, you're giving back to the running community. You're giving your time, your energy. I imagine it's very rewarding. But my first question really is, what made you decide to apply?
Rosa Roro runs.
Yeah.
Latinas Run, and I kind of picked her brain on that, and just seeing the examples in the community that she was able to either connect with or just meet was really amazing. And so when the application came out, she kind of sent it. We have a girls group that's basically just been added together from different people we meet that were similar paces or similar style running, aka relaxed running. And so we have a group page. So she sent it in there, and then we all kind of went in, applied, and even through the application process, like I didn't pay attention. I'm new to running. So I started running in 2021.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm pretty new. We can talk about that later. But it was basically, I wanted to reach out to a bunch of people who may identify with me, aka new runner turned marathoner. I kind of went the extreme and didn't do a lot of other running between those two paces from 0 to 100 through the pandemic. So that was really fun. So I thought I had a pretty unique story to share in that sense, which I found a lot of runners or pandemic runners that I've met nowadays. And then running for my mental health. I think that's something, especially, you know, June is Men's Health Month, and something that we don't talk about, something that my culture doesn't talk about really. We talk a lot, we chisme a lot, which is like girl talk, but we sometimes don't ask ourselves how we're feeling. So I thought running gives you a time to check in with yourself and to check in with others too.
Okay. So you mentioned you're a new pandemic runner. So did you start running because you were bored, because you needed a different exercise, and you know some of the exercise you weren't allowed to do during lockdown? You know, what's the story?
I'm actually a physical therapist. So I work at Houston Methodist and the medical center, and I work on what's called acute physical therapy. So working in the hospital setting, you know, we get admitted to the hospital. So we got hit pretty early on in the pandemic, and I was one of the volunteers. I was like, I didn't have kids. I don't live with anybody at risk really. And so I volunteered to work in the COVID wards, as you should say. And so I started working early on with COVID patients. And with that, I kind of canceled. I used to go to Orange Theory. I canceled my Orange Theory. I put everything on hold. I stopped. That's pre them closing all the gyms down or like modifying stuff. But I just wanted to keep others and myself safe because I was being exposed to COVID on the daily. And then I told myself, I'm going to run 1 mile every day. And I am an asthmatic. And so I was like, I'm going to run 1 mile every day. And if I can't, that means I probably have COVID, because this was like pre-testing, pre-vaccinations. And so I got up, not every day, but I got up most days and like at least would run 1 mile. And that's kind of how my running journey started. COVID got worse. My running got longer.
I like your daily test.
Really funny, because I decided I had signed up for the Houston Aramco Half Marathon, and then it turned virtual. And so I said, I'm new to running. Like, I don't think I can do a virtual race. Like, I don't know what to do or even where to do that. And so I decided to just defer it, kept running a little bit. And, and I was like, you know what, let's just run the marathon. I feel like I've already trained this much this year. And so decided to join the marathon, which is really funny because I got COVID 2 weeks before my marathon. And I ran 20 miles that morning, not knowing that I had COVID, and felt like I thought it was just new beginner distance, feeling fatigue, but COVID hit me really bad. So my theory of running 1 mile to check if I had COVID didn't really work out anyways. That's probably why my COVID little wave was worse, but it was quite funny that I got into running because of COVID, got COVID, and it didn't really reflect the difference.
So it was 2 weeks before your first marathon. Did you end up doing the first marathon then?
So I was pretty nervous. I was crying, as you do even when you don't get COVID before a marathon, because you're like, am I going to finish this? Can I do this? And then as a physical therapist, I'm like, should I do this? Like, is this going to be safe for me? I talked with a bunch of more, what's it called? Seasoned runners. I talked with a bunch of them and I was like, hey, like, have you ever been sick and got back into running? We knew more about COVID since then. I had already been vaccinated. My heart rate was kind of doing some funky stuff. And so I just kind of went out, started walking a little bit and would see, it was mostly the fatigue. So I was kind of really scared that I would not be able to finish. But I went out and said, I'm going to do my best, even if that means walking and finishing it. And surprisingly, I finished. I felt great. I think it was New Runners High Marathon. I think your first marathon's always like, for me, I should say, and for a lot of people that I meet, is always your favorite one and your best one, and you feel like you could do more, and that's why you keep signing up. I definitely got on the marathon bandwagon.
Your first major race, marathon, after you deferred a half. So that was Chevron, I guess, 2022?
Yes, Chevron 2022. And I did do a half, which was also during training, because I joined Runners High, which is an amazing group in Houston, and I met all of them. And then one weekend they're like, oh, we're going to do this Houston half. And I was like, I don't know anything about running or races or anything about the running community. So they're like, yeah, sign up. Like, we're already going to do 13 miles this weekend, but now you get to do it during a race, which I'm so glad I did because I signed up. It's a great race put together. You get free race photos, which is the fun part. As a runner, you learn to love race pictures. And it was during Halloween weekend, which is one of my favorite holidays to dress up for and celebrate. And I finished that and I was like, okay, it was kind of a reality check. I was like, if I can't finish this half, should I even be doing the full? But I finished. I felt great. I was a little worried. I was very sore the next day. And I said, you know, we're already here. I'm not injured. I'm healthy. I'm young. We're going to keep going. So I did do that half distance, but I was more kind of in the training process. And then I did 2022 Chevron, and I also had signed up for Chicago that same year. So since then, I ran 3 marathons in 1 year as a new runner. Do not recommend.
But well, if you're going to do it, while you're fresh and
but I do it.
Yeah, no, you're totally spoiled because like the Houston half, for those people who know the Houston half, the Striders, and I just said Halloween weekend, and there's a band, there's tacos, there's beer. I mean, there's the whole shebang, and then you go to Houston, which is a total VIP experience. So yeah, you probably are hit the top, as far as VIP experience races. So, and then you ended up going to Chicago. How was that compared to Houston? Obviously, it's a different city. It's more buildings, but I mean, as far as the experience itself,
the race itself was amazing. Honestly, it was my hardest marathon to date because it was emotional. I went to Chicago because my cousin, I lost her during the pandemic to suicide, and so Chicago was really based on I ran 2022 Chevron for me, for my mental health and kind of getting through that, and then kind of wanted to dedicate a race to her. So I raised some money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and they helped get me into Chicago, which was nice. And so it was really kind of an emotional race. And I think leading up to the whole weekend was, I think it was more emotionally and mentally taxing than it was physically, but my body definitely took, they both go hand in hand. So I think because I was mentally struggling with not being there, and my last memories with her, even though they're very joyous, grief is very fluid. So during the race, I was kind of like, I remember going there with her. I remember she used to live in this borough. And so it was emotionally taxing, which I felt like made it physically harder to do. And I had a good friend that I met in Runners High. Her name's Michelle. I kind of convinced her to also run the Chicago Marathon with me. And so if it weren't for her, I probably would have not been able to finish, because we share locations on our Apple Maps, and I kept tracking her. I'm like, okay, she's close by. I can finish. And I ran into her at one point. It was like, you saw somebody you knew, and then you're like, okay, I can do it. And that's what I love about Chevron, is that you can, because you're running in this community, you meet so many different people. And while you're running your race, like, even though you're doing it by yourself, you see people along the route, whether it's like spectators or other runners, that you're like, hey, I remember them from this one random run. And you're like, hey, you're doing great. Like, you can do it. Like, I love the camaraderie at the Chevron Marathon. So it's very different in that sense. It's like, your city, and you're running through your city. In Chicago, I just felt like I was running forever, and I didn't know where I was half the time. I try not to pay attention to the miles in the actual marathon, because I'm just like, just keep running. You'll get to the end eventually. But I think that one felt really long. And I felt it was more flat, but I know there's mixed feelings of people saying it's a little bit of a hillier course or a more flat course. I think Houston just has like a steeper hill, so it makes it feel a little bit harder. And then Chicago, to me, I didn't really feel much of an elevation except for the end, which I had read about, but not really pictured. And going uphill for like 500 meters at the end is just pure torture. And then they're taking your picture. So you're like going uphill, you're already like ran 26 miles, and you're like in this crouch posture, but then you're trying to like look cute for the camera.
I had no idea it was an uphill finish line. Like, does it at least flatten out for like the last 100 yards or anything, or just total uphill?
I really don't. I couldn't tell you. I like, how was Chicago? And I was like, I think it was good. I feel like I need to go back and like remember the course. I think I was in such agony in my legs and everything was hurting that I was just finish line. I do think it got flat. There was like a weird, you turn, I can't name any of the streets, but you turn and then there's like a small incline hill. It's probably a baby incline, but at 26 miles feels like a giant, like steep hill. And then I think it flattens out for like the last 200 meters. But it was, the crowds were amazing. I think just the food in general in Chicago was amazing. I love pizza. That's my go-to pre-race food. And so I was in pizza heaven.
Yeah, I'm with you. Pizza and beer every time for me, before and after. During, if it's a long enough distance. Yeah, heck yeah.
You need the carbs.
Well, obviously, we got 3 marathons in within 1 year, and PR Bell, the tunnel that they just added. What? No, did they add this year or the previous? No, this year.
2022 was a tunnel, which was really fun. And I PR'd, I think by like 2 minutes, but we take PRs as they come.
Well, that's actually impressive. I know you're a new runner and you're training heavily more, but at the same time, it was extremely hot.
It was and I did well until mile 18. And then I said, I tell people, I'm like, it's kind of hard being a medical professional because you are more in tune to your body and symptoms. And then you also know the side effects of pushing too hard. Like I've seen patients that have they did a really extreme workout and end up in the hospital. And they're like, I didn't know this could happen. I'm like, yeah. They're like, my legs were tired. I'm like, yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of training going on. You got a busy work schedule. How are you fitting it in? Are you scheduling ahead of time? Is your schedule change every week or every couple of weeks? You have a steady schedule and how are you fitting it all in?
Because I work in the hospital, I just transitioned to another part of the hospital, but we work a lot of weekends. And so my schedule kind of changes a lot. So sometimes I have to run on Saturday and then work on Sunday. So sometimes I don't get that recovery and I end up having to pick up back up and go to work. So it's and that's what I tell people. I'm like, anybody can run a marathon. You really can. It's just time consuming. It's like, do you have the time? But to me, putting in effort to go do exercise or do activity, it's worth your time. Like you want to spend time running now, or you want to spend time going to the doctor's offices later in life because of things that come up in life from inactivity. But you have to you have to be dedicated, and I'm dedicated, and having a group of people around you is the biggest support system. And even my friend, Michelle, that I mentioned that I did Chicago with her, we're doing Berlin this September. And we she is a teacher, so she has a lot of vacations during the summer, which is all summer training. And even though we rely on each other a lot for our long runs, we know that some weekends we're not going to be together. We'll just text each other like, how is it going? Or we're going to do this many miles this weekend. And we kind of just, even the texting accountability is helpful. So, or just seeing other people running outside, or like other people who are training for different races, or they have different stuff going along. Once you get into the community, everybody is so helpful. Be like, I'm running 4 miles, like just come join me.
Yeah, have an accountability partner, whether the schedules match up or not. So, Chicago, Berlin. Are you doing a Berlin? Are you going to do the charity as well? Is that how you're getting in, or how'd you get Berlin?
So after my friend and I did Chicago, it was a group of 3 of us. One of them I actually met on Facebook. We met up during the pandemic. I was like, I'm new to running. Like, what do I do? So I got on Facebook and I was like running clubs or something Houston. And then I saw some girl posts like, hey, I want to train for a marathon if anyone wants to meet up. And so we met up, and then we both realized we're like new runners and we probably should look for more experienced people. So her and I together joined a running group, which was kind of fun. And then we made other friends. So us 3, we did Chicago together. We got together and decided after a few cocktails that we were going to sign up for lottery as a group for Berlin. And we didn't expect to get in. I've heard it's pretty hard to get in through lottery. And everybody that I've told I've gotten in, they're like, man, you're so lucky. Like, I've been trying lottery forever. But I did find out that if you do group lottery, you have a higher chance of getting in. I'm not a math major or any type of statistician, so not sure what the odds are better wise for that. But most of the people I know who have done Berlin, they all did it through like group, which is really cool. And I think it's one of the only big races that allow like a group entry. So if one of your numbers gets pulled, all people in that group get to go, which is really cool.
Yeah, that makes sense from a tourist standpoint. A single person could just go in and run the race and leave. A group, you guys are going to stay a couple days. You're going to be giving back to the local economy. That's awesome. And, congrats for raising money for to run Chicago, because Houston does the same thing. I think it's a really good thing that people can get involved in. And so sometimes you just raise the money, you don't even have to pay. They pay for all your stuff, which is cool.
It is nice. And you're doing it, you can find a good cause to support, which is, it's a lot of time. I know people get really nervous about fundraising, but you'd be surprised about the people that are willing to donate, especially if you have like a connecting story, or you just have you just can advocate for their cause. I think it's a great opportunity, especially because like races are expensive. Running, I thought would be cheap, but it's actually, it is expensive. And even though we try to be an inclusive environment, it can get pricey with races. So it's nice to have that charity option for people who may need some assistance or want to do it for a better cause.
You are in the Houston running zone. We've got the runs.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love how Houston does it as well. And you don't even have to be good at fundraising. You can just put it up there. It does help, as you said, if you have a story, if you have an emotional connection. But, I'm horrible at fundraising. I don't even promote it. And I raised, $1,500 for another race.
Awesome.
So just put it out there, just like the lottery. Put it out there, see what happens.
Post your link, people will donate.
Yeah. And a lot of times people start to feel guilty that they don't give to charity on a regular basis. I think that's a big thing as well. People go, oh, I should be doing this. Well, just do it now. There you go. You got a friend that wants to run. Awesome. So this is your first year as an ambassador. You looking forward to some of the cool stuff? What about Takeover Tuesday? Nervous, excited? What's your thoughts on that?
I personally I've always had I've had vocal nodules, so I don't like the sound of my voice, which is really funny. So, and recording myself, I can just talk for days. And so just cut me off too. I can just talk, and all I do is talk for a living. So it is nerve wracking. Thankfully, it coincided with my day off. So I'm working that Sunday. I get to be off on the Tuesday that I get to take over. So it's kind of nice. I have a few things in store. I think just pre-planning ahead is the biggest things that I've learned from seasoned ambassadors that are like, just plan ahead. It's not as stressful. So I like planning. I've become less of a planner as I've gotten older, which is funny because I hear like the opposite. So I'm planning ahead, but it's coming up, and mine's in August, which will be kind of fun. It's a hot month, but it's kind of the gearing up back to school month. So it'll be interesting to see what I come up with.
Yeah, we'll definitely look forward to it. And I normally check Tuesday. I'm pretty cautious to check Instagram on a Tuesday, so that's going to be fun, and look forward to seeing that. Well, what else do you really love about Houston? Obviously, you're an ambassador. You applied. It's just, like I said, just put it out there, and thank you so much, Grace, for connecting us. But what else do you enjoy about the weekend itself? Is it the race? Is it the expo? Is it being able to use a convention center and not be outside? I mean, what really do you look forward to?
I love the expo, and having been to like a bigger marathon like Chicago Expo, like I really appreciated a lot of things that Houston does. I know they don't have the size that other marathons do, so they have, but that also makes it very special because they can do separate corrals, and how, like, now that I've done multiple races, like Houston puts on like one of the best races, especially for new runners, and you're so confused and you don't know what to do. Like, go to the expo is so helpful. I went to a local city. Well, we won't name them. I went to a local city to do a race, and their expo was kind of sad. There wasn't a lot of information. The parking was horrible to get to, which Georgia Brown, at least there's parking garages around there, so you can kind of get there. Traffic getting into town, if you're not familiar, or if you're from the suburbs, it's a little bit hectic. But I think they provide so much information. Like, the website's helpful. Getting to the expo, they have so many volunteers, me being one of them this year, to give advice and just tell you what to do on race day. Because I think for a new runner, it's just so nerve-wracking. Like, I'm very glad that I did an earlier race, because I had no idea what came into the, like, getting to their parking and like showing up and gear check. I'm a gear check. I have to take everything with me. It's like my security blanket. I don't use anything that I put in there, but just to know that I have it.
Oh yeah. Like 2 days worth of clothes for some reason. Yeah, I feel you.
Like wipes that I'll never use, but I probably should, because I'm the saltiest sweater. The only thing I do use in there are some sandals afterwards, because as soon as I'm done running, I want my shoes off.
Like, any specific sandals or just anything?
I can't remember who mentioned them to me, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but UFOs, they are great. And I don't have any foot issues that I know of. My PT might say otherwise, but I was like, I don't have any foot issues, but I just love them. I think they're so great. They're not as cute as other sandals out there, but I do swear by them. I wear them in my house, or like my house slippers, and then after runs, like I just live in them after my run. They're so cushiony and just absorb that shock from your knees, and they just make my feet feel better. I've noticed a big difference since owning them. They're worth the money if you do have like anything like plantar fasciitis or knee pain or Achilles pain after running.
Yeah, they last forever. No, they're super ugly. Mine lasted 3 years. I'd wear them, afterwards, and also to the beach, and left them out in the sun. No, they are like indestructible. It's like, I don't know. It's
our boxes.
Yeah, definitely recommend those. They're better than Crocs, but hey, whatever people like, do that. Mm-hmm. Expo. So what are the ambassadors doing at the expo? Because I know, do you guys have like certain times you need to be there? Or are you kind of doing other things? You kind of pick and choose? What's your jam?
I don't think we have we haven't heard of a set schedule yet, but from my understanding from asking, it's definitely like you have to be certain time slots for different stuff, volunteering, being present. I think it's just a great time to be able to like meet up your friends there. The expo is so fun. You get to take pictures, you get to get some nice swag. You have different companies there showing off different products, which is a great time not to try different products for race day, but just to grab samples of them to try them after running, which is great.
Yeah, it's funny. People say, don't try anything on race day. Don't try anything the day before as well, people.
Yeah, I'm not in Chicago. I mean, I've eaten pizza, but I normally don't eat deep dish pizza. And I don't know if I just ate too much of it, or it was just, it's different things. It So I'm pretty interested about going to Germany. I'm a picky eater. So I'm like, we'll see what I eat on the day before race day. You can't really pack up a meal and take it to Germany with you. I mean, you could, but probably not something I want to eat if it's been in my suitcase for a few days.
Every country has pizza. It may not be the best.
Yeah. I was like, bread's a universal food here. And I eat all types of bread.
All right, cool.
Gluten-free, flour-free, I don't know, whatever kind of free bread, sesame seed, all the good flavors. But yes, I'm not sure exactly all of our requirements, but I'm hoping to take off a few of the days for work and just go and embrace everything that I have to do. And then maybe connect. I've already met a few different people through this process. So I look forward to spending time with them and just having a good time. And there's nothing like race weekend. Like, it's just so exciting. Even going through downtown like the whole week when they're like putting up the flyers, and because I work at Methodist, they're one of the sponsors for the marathon. And so they make announcements and stuff at work about that. And as a physical therapist, there's a lot of people that I work with that are also runners. So it's kind of like a community that I work with now that we're like, oh, we're running this weekend. We may be doing different distances. So it's just fun to kind of get together and all do something really fun over the weekend, because we don't just already run every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this will be your fourth. You got Berlin scheduled. Are you just trying to do all the majors, just figure out what strikes you next, or you have a plan, or you just keep going?
Once I ran my first marathon, I was like, I'll just get to 5, and Berlin will be my 4th, and then Chevron 24 will be my 5th. And then I said, we'll see how I feel after that. I did have some a little bit of hip issues after I think it started up during Chicago training, and then those back-to-back marathons were pretty tough on my body. And so we'll see. And I'm basically doing that again with a September and a January run. So I'm not planning to PR or do anything like speed crazy, just trying to finish injury free, having fun, and, creating some new memories. And I'm get to number 5, which is exciting. But after that, I was like, we'll see. I had said, I'm not going to sign up for any more marathons until I finish these 2 and then see where my body's at and really listen to what's going on there.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
That's what they all say. I know. I said I would only run 2, and then here I am 5 later.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, back to back. So, when you're running, obviously PR, even in the heat for some, because you're new. We're going to chalk it up to that, but no, that's awesome. Are you like check your splits every mile just to make sure my body's working okay? Or do you set out for a, kind of a plan, like I'm going to do X per mile, or, what's your go-to?
So after Chicago, like I said, it was one of my physically and mentally hard. I didn't know if I wanted to even do Houston. I was kind of in the dumps after that. I still was faster than my first marathon at Chicago, even feeling how bad I was. But again, I purposely did what I could for my first marathon, and all of it was great for new runner. I think it's still new runner juice in me. And I started working with a running coach. And so she was actually one of the ambassadors, and that's how I found out about her. So Sarah, who's up in Colorado, I think you've interviewed her before, because I'm pretty sure all of her before hiring her as a running coach. So I worked with her from October to January, and I'm a good student and I do my homework. So whatever she kind of put into plan. So we did plan to PR for 2023. And then, of course, I was on track until the weather hit and decided safety over pushing myself more, which is great. And we still got a small PR. But for Berlin coming up, I'm not planning anything too crazy, just to have fun. I'm going to be going to Prague and some other places afterwards. So I don't want to get injured. My biggest thing is don't get injured, which happens when you try new things or put on too much speed too fast. And then for 2024, we'll kind of see. I know we have a lot of stuff going on with ambassadors, so I'm pretty flexible with all the schedule changes. So I'm not pretty strict on Monday is speed work, Tuesday is this. I like working out. So it's, what do I want to do today? I'm cognizant of my long runs, but I keep them very light. I run very slow on Saturdays. And people are usually surprised at how slow I run and then how fast I run. And I'm like, that's the goal. And it was so hard to understand that because as a new runner, you're like just constantly comparing your pace to other people or like where you should be or how they look when they're running and how you should look. And so I suffer from that a lot at the beginning of most of my training, and then slowly have found out like, nope, I'm going to be at the very end of the line when I start with everyone, and then I'll finish very strong at the end.
Yeah, no, that is crazy, especially a lot of people. And Houston attracts a lot of new runners because, I mean, it's an awesome experience. But yeah, you notice a lot of people go really fast and you're passing everybody up at the last 10 miles. You're like, oh, bye. But people just get excited.
They do. I got excited all of my marathons. I feel like I still suffer from needing to start slower. And so I do look at, like, even during races, I'll like look at my pace just to make sure. Cause like now I know, like, if I start off too fast, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it comfortably to the end. I will make it. We'll see. I don't know what I'll look like making it. But I do, because of that, I do add some speed work in, and just, I bought a Peloton treadmill because outside is very hot. I don't run on it, but when I do, I'll kind of do some of the fun workouts, and it's just like kind of a mind changing from running outside to inside. So a little bit of variety. There's some side style workouts that I like to do on there. So they just put up a reggaeton run, which is going to be really fun to get into this weekend. I'm saving it for my recovery run.
Oh, cool. Yeah. You definitely want to look good, especially because Houston has that finish line video. I still have mine from, what was that, 10 years ago. So they've always had that finish line video. You got to look good the last 10 seconds. It's very important.
I never knew about that until I saw a bunch of people posting their finish line videos. So I never went to look at it. I think I've never paid attention that was a thing. And this past one, I saw somebody I recognized at the end of the race, and I was just like trying to run to catch up to her. And I was so excited to see how well she did. And so when she finished, all of my thing was like running up to her. So I looked like a crazy stalker at the end of my video where I'm like, like, you did it. I was like, it wasn't cute on my behalf, but I look like a good friend coaching my friend, or like seeing her at the end and like congratulating her. So, but it's funny. This time I'll pay attention. We'll see what I do. I was like, maybe I'll do a cartwheel at the end, but I was like, no. That's how you end up getting injured, and you don't survive another marathon.
Yeah. You got other stuff to do, especially after Berlin. Definitely don't do anything crazy. Well, yeah. I appreciate, giving back and being an ambassador and everything you do for the community. Oh, actually, you do have one more question. Latinas Run, you guys, Grace connected us. You guys meet every other Wednesday. Is that correct? Every other
Tuesday. And now we're out of Highland Village off Westheimer and the Lululemon located there. So it's been really fun. We've had a pretty good turnout even in this heat. And I've made so many new connections from learning about them. I honestly just found them on Instagram. And then when I got there, I was like, oh, I do know at least like one or two people. And now we're, a year into our friendship, and we're still holding strong. And we've just definitely continued to connect with other runners and bring them in. We'll see new runners and we're like, are you new here? Like, come join us at 5 a.m. on Wednesday. You'll like it. So it's kind of like a nice cult you get initiated into.
Oh yeah. Are there any other groups that you run with? Do you still do Runners High, or?
I pride myself on joining all the groups. I like variety and meeting new people and going to I was just going to join Striders on Tuesday, but my AC broke. And so I was waiting for my AC guy, but I definitely, just being new, like I did do Runners High for 2 years in a row. I am going to test out the waters a little bit. I've also discovered that I'm okay with being a solo runner sometimes, and running what I feel like, waking up and doing whatever I feel like creating on that Saturday. But I will be checking out a different group. I did check out Champions up in Spring Woodlands area, which was really fun. They're a huge group and great. I drove up there one of the weekends with Rosa and Patty, who are also part of Latinas Run. And I ended up meeting a neighbor who lives across the street from me, and she goes and drives up there. But we've been running every so often together. So it took us going to Spring to meet, but that's how funny the running community is. You end up meeting people who know people that you may not have ever met in life until you started running with them. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, definitely check out all the clubs because, I mean, it's so diverse as far as the personalities and the paces, and it's just
the offer. Yeah.
And plus, Striders, they normally have food at their quarterly meeting, so that's always good too.
Will be. I've been to Freaks. Freaks run on Fridays, but I don't run on Fridays as much as I want to go. Maybe when I'm not training for anything, I'll go on a Friday. But Fridays are usually my come home from work, go to sleep at 8:00 so you can wake up at 4:00 to get ready for your run. So I applaud any of the runners that show up. They're like, yeah, we were at Freaks last night. We had some beers. I'm like, I would not be able to function on Saturday morning if I went out the night before. But it's a big party. I've never been. We've coordinated with them with Latinas Run. I know Patrick and a few of the other people in the group. But I definitely send a lot of people their way. Like, you're a new runner, go to this group. They're huge, they're amazing, they coordinate great things, and it's what running is, which is awesome.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about them. A lot of people I've interviewed. So yeah, definitely got to check that out one day. But thanks again for all your time. Before I let you go, got 3 more questions. But before that, can you give everybody that's listening one reason to run today, tomorrow, sometime this week? Just one reason.
For yourself, you'll feel better. You'll put goals out there you didn't think you could set and you didn't think you can reach, but you can do them. You just have to maybe not think about it so much and get out and do it.
There you go. Don't think, just do it. Just like you, just sign up, see what happens. I'm running Berlin. There you go. Okay, 3 more questions. Lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. Hey, what's your favorite piece of race gear? Hat, shoes, you name it, something you'd love to have on a race gear.
Body. I have thick thighs. I need it. I'm a chafer and a salty sweater body fly.
Okay. Yep, that's the hidden gem. It's literally hidden, but yeah, it's a gem of a product.
As long as it's making this happen, we're good.
All right, and question number 2: does pineapple belong on pizza?
I'm really plain and just like cheese pizza. I probably would still eat it if there is pineapple in there, but I've actually never tried it.
Oh, okay. I try to get polarizing questions here, but yep, you're too nice. All right, cool. And 3rd question: what would be your favorite place to run a race? Location. Ooh. You could even make it up if you like, or there's a specific race.
If not so many hills, I would love to run. I probably could run in Patagonia. I'm sure they have a race, but I would just love to run and see the views there. And I love penguins. So running by them as they're just it's kind of how I run too, like a little waddle, I think would be great to run in Patagonia or just anywhere where there's penguins. All
right, cool. Yeah. And plus we probably run faster than, if not, we need to.
It would be days to get acclimated, but I would eventually make it.
Well, once again, thank you so much. I'll put a link to Instagram handle, Latinas Run, all the different resources that you mentioned, and look forward to seeing you on Takeover Tuesday or at an upcoming Houston Marathon social.
Thank you so much. It's been great.
As always, if you want to become the first to find out about upcoming weekly episodes, simply hit the plus, follow, subscribe button. Depends on your podcast platform. And if you're on a podcast app where you can leave a rating and review, we always love it. Hey, give us 5 stars if you like it. And if you don't like it, give us 5 stars anyways. You made it through the whole episode. But more importantly, looking forward to sharing another episode next week.
Thanks for visiting the Houston Running Zone. If you know someone you'd like to be featured in the zone, go to thehoustonrunningzone.com and send us a message. Until next week, always remember, Houston, we've got the runs.